all these years, Pawn Stars has come across as one of the finest, rarest, and unique items, and there's no denying that this is one of the main reasons behind the show's success. The show catches the interest of people from all walks of life. Their audience also includes gaming freaks. These gamers are always looking for the most amazing gaming setups to appear on the show, and lucky for them, people often keep showing up with such setups, and that's what today's video is all about. So without wasting more time, let's look at the Ford Pawn Shop Vintage Gaming Setup Deals. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on anything. Number 4, Nintendo Game and Watch Collection. If you don't know, Nintendo Game and Watch systems are small, portable handheld electronic devices. Let's say, the previous generation of Game Boys and Nintendo DS. They're one of the coolest things to have back in the 80s. The lady who brought these in also brought a handful of unique games along. Games that are actually made even before the release of the devices. Well, knowing the fact that each single one of them can be sold for $100, the boys knew that they could pretty much make a really profitable deal. The woman was naive. She only demanded $500 for the entire thing. Corey is clever, and like always, he was able to convince the lady to sell those for a price of $250. Now that's what we call a nail to a deal. Number 3, Vectrex Video Game System, 80s. This has to be one of the classics. At the start of season 13, one guy stepped inside the pawn shop with a Vectrex video game system from the 80s. Well, most of you might not be aware of the vintage piece. It was also quite revolutionary in its time. The most fascinating feature it came with was that it had its own monitor and detachable control pad. That's not it. Some games even had 3D goggles. Well, not something that exciting in 2020. But if you were in the 1980s, you would have gone completely berserk. 3D, 35 years ago. Insane. Chumlee was a bit skeptical. He was really unsure if it was worth buying for $200. So he took the assistance of an expert. The expert told him it's a good price and should go for it. However, Chumlee was able to convince the man to settle for $150. His strong argument was that the guy didn't have all the necessary additional accessories out of the Vectrex to get a full experience. Number 2, Original Donkey Kong Arcade. Well, if you're someone whose childhood was in the previous century, you must be one of the fans of Donkey Kong games. The first game, it was 40 years back, people. 40 years! Well, it doesn't really matter if you're from the previous century or not, because even kids of today's age are pretty much aware of Donkey Kong. So a character this famous, well then, its original vintage game was worth some hefty amount. Corey and Chumlee received a call, which took them by surprise, and God was willing to sell an original Donkey Kong arcade. After getting inspected by the expert, they were pretty sure that it was genuine. The only issue was that the game had a software glitch. It just never ended. Corey and Chumlee knew this was something they can take advantage of. That's why they turned the offer of $2,500 quoted by the seller, and said they started off with a price as low as $300. Unfortunately, the deal didn't work out well for them. But well, this is one of the coolest vintage games to appear on the show. Number 1, earliest Super Mario game. Super Mario fans, this one's for you. One of the rarest vintage gaming collections ever to step foot in the pawn shop. Well, let's start with a shocker. The guy demanded $1 million for it. Yes, you heard that right. $1 million. The man claimed that it was one of the earliest Super Mario games. Rick was pretty unsure about its worth because he was intrigued to know more. So he called up the company to get it inspected. The official came and assured that it was definitely an original piece. He added more that this piece was purchased way before the company officially launched. This game was made when no one knew what Nintendo was, which made this rare gaming piece much more precious. Rick was speechless and was highly interested. However, he considered it a huge risk to spend $1 million on something he's not an expert in, so he had to decline the offer. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then let us know by giving it a thumbs up. We'll see you soon in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.